you very much. Krishna. Namah Shivadaya Krishna Shaputale Śrīmad Prabhupada Prabhupada Gadesha Gasatam Bhakti Vaishna Mukam Karoti Vachana Bhangum Nagati Tatik Padam Deshi Hare Krishna everyone. We are very fortunate. We are here in Melbourne Mahaprabhu Mandir, especially this morning, having wonderful Kirtan and now Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So today we will be continuing our Śrīmad Bhāgavatam reading, Canto 9 and Chapter 13, the dynasty of Maharaj Nimi. And today we will cover the verse text 9. Yesterday Prabhu covered, Karunanandi Prabhu covered 3 verses, 6, 7, 8. So today we are covering 9. It's a long purport. Srila Prabhupada's mercy. Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanajari Yamuna Tira Vanajari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Yashodanandana Braja Jananandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Rama Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivakacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Gurudev ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivakacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada ki Jai ISKCON and Vardhana Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Vishnupada Paramahansa Parivakacharya Astuta Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Ya Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Ananda Gure Vaishnav ki Jai Namacharya Shri Hare Das Thakur ki Jai Sri Goswamis ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda Radha Giri Govardhan ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham ki Jai Shri Navdeep Dham ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai Ganga Maya ki Jai Yamuna Maya ki Jai Tulsi Devi ki Jai Bhakti Devi ki Jai Shama Veta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai Gaura Premanande Hari Bo All glories to Asya Madhyatis, Hare Krishna. All glories to Asya Madhyatis, Hare Krishna. All glories to Asya Madhyatis, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. So today we are continuing our reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 13, the dynasty of Maharaj Nimi. And we are on text 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 9, Chapter 13, verse 9. Yasya yogam na vanchanti viyoga bhayak kataraha bhajanti charan ambujam munayah hari medasaha. Yasya yogam na vanchanti viyoga bhaya kataraha bhajanti charanam bhojam munayo harimedasa. Yasya yogam na vanchanti viyoga bhaya kataraha bhajanti charanam bhojam munayo harimedasa. Yasya yogam na vanchanti viyoga bhaya kataraha bhajanti charanam bhojam munayo harimedasa. Yasya yogam na vanchanti viyoga bhaya kataraha bhajanti charanam bhojam munayo harimedasa. Yes. Yasya yogam vanchanti bhajanti charanam bhojam munayo harimedasa. Yasya Yasya of the body, yogam contact, na do not, vanchanti jnanis desire, viyoga bhaya kataraha being afraid of giving up the body again, bhajanti offer transcendental loving service, charan ambujam to the lotus feet of the Lord, munaya great saintly persons, hari medasaha whose intelligence is always absorbed in the thoughts of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupada. Purport is very long, so let us kindly hear. Translation. Maharaj Nimi continued, Mayavadis generally want freedom from accepting a material body because they fear having to give it up again. But the devotees, whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord, are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental loving service. Purport. Maharaj Nimi did not want to accept a material body, which would be a cause of bondage, because he was a devotee. He wanted a body by which he could render devotional service to the Lord. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur sings, Janma bhi maura ichha yadi tora, bhakta grahe jani janma hoi mora, kita janma hau yatha tuya dasa. My Lord, if you want me to take birth and accept a material body again, kindly do me this favor. Allow me to take birth in the home of your servant, your devotee. I do not mind being born there even as an insignificant creature like an insect. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamai mama janmani janmanishware bhautat bhaktir ahetukitvae. O Lord of the universe, I do not desire material wealth, materialistic followers, a beautiful wife, or fruitive activities described in the flowery language, that is Vedic language, the Vedas, the karmic side. All I want, life after life, is unmotivated devotional service to you. Shistastaka, number 4 verse. By saying life after life, Janmani, Janmani, the Lord referred not to an ordinary birth, but a birth in which to remember the lotus feet of the Lord. Such a body is desirable. A devotee does not think like yogis and jnanis, who want to refuse a material body and become one with the impersonal Brahman effulgence. A devotee does not like this idea. On the contrary, he will accept any body, material or spiritual, for he wants to serve the Lord. This is real liberation. If one has a strong desire to serve the Lord, even if he accepts a material body, there is no cause of anxiety, since a devotee, even in a material body, is a liberated soul. This is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasagvira nikhilasva api avasthashu jivan mukta sa yuchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, in the other words, in the service of Krishna, with his mind, body, and intelligence and words, is a liberated person even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. The desire to serve the Lord establishes one as liberated in any condition of life, whether in a spiritual body or a material body. In a spiritual body, the devotee becomes a direct associate of the Lord. Now the next line is very important. But even though a devotee may superficially appear to be in a material body, he is always liberated and is engaged in the same duties of service to the Lord as a devotee in Vaikuntha Loka. There is no distinction. It is said, Sadhur Jiva va Marova. Whether a devotee is alive or dead, his only concern is to serve the Lord. Tyaktva deham puna janma naiti mameti. When he gives up his body, he goes directly to become an associate of the Lord and serve him, although he does the same thing even in a material body in the material world. For a devotee, there is no pain, pleasure, or material perfection. One may argue that at the time of death, a devotee also suffers because of giving up his material body. But in this connection, the example may be given that a cat carries a mouse in its mouth and also carries a kitten in his mouth. Both the mouse and the kitten are carried in the same mouth. But the perception of the mouse is different from that of the kitten. When a devotee gives up his body, tyaktva deham, he is ready to go back home, back to Godhead. Thus, his perception is certainly different from that of a person being taken away by Yamraj for punishment. Krishna. A person whose intelligence is always concentrated upon the service of the Lord is unafraid of accepting a material body, whereas a non-devotee, having no engagement in the service of the Lord, is very much afraid of accepting a material body or giving up his present one. Therefore, we should follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mama janmani janmani sware bhavtat bhaktir ahetukitvai. It does not matter whether we accept a material body or a spiritual body. Our only ambition should be to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmitam Yena Tashmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanmitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamitamasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Paevasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining this wonderful nectar of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. Hearing about Krishna is so wonderful. And that is only by mercy of Srila Prabhupada. This morning when I was putting the glasses on Srila Prabhupada, the thought or understanding came. I was doing glasses to Srila Prabhupada as if I'm giving vision to him. But actually, he is giving the transcendental vision to us. No, he is giving, the Guru Parampara is giving the transcendental vision. And these purports are like putting a specs on our eyes, like a transcendental specs. And then we will have a transcendental vision, Otherwise, our vision is like blurred. We are not seeing the reality. But when we think that I'm putting a specs to Prabhupada. Actually, he is putting transcendental vision to us. So we are very fortunate. We hope and that we remain loyal servant to this Guru Parampara. Okay, so continuing here, this is very nice verse because we've been hearing of Maharaj Nimi, and last few verses were like tricky verses. We heard what happened just before, that both Maharaj Nimi and Vasishtha, they left the body. They had to leave the body. So this is also another side we have to consider, that when we make progress in spiritual life, we automatically receive the power, and we don't want to waste this power by showing our anger, by cursing someone. At the same time, we have to be vigilant of understanding what is right and what is wrong. So he we heard he did the activities. And then, of course, Maharaj Nemi, as Srila Prabhupada explained, that he is transcendentalist. He was doing the performance of a yajna not for the sake of, for his own, but to please Lord Vishnu. And we have seen the example of Bali Maharaj as well. So he was also performing the yajna for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. And then he was told not to do it because Lord Vishnu will come in some form and he will take away everything from you. He said, no, I will continue. Let him come and I will offer whatever, even myself, I will offer to him. So this is the understanding. And what is the point? The point is, when we take the shelter of Krishna, then what happens? The devotees of the Lord are, because they are always engaged in the service of the Lord, they are unafraid. So we will continue little by little in this verse. Initially I like to read, because this is similar what Maharaj Nimi is praying. He is saying, and this is interesting because previous verse was like Maharaj Nimi has left the body, so he is out of the body. But then the sages and the demigods, they can see him. So he is still present around. Because the yajna is going on, this happened, so he has left the body, but he is still visible to sages and the demigods. And then the sages are praying to demigods that please bring him back to this material body. And Maharaj Nemi is saying no, he doesn't want to. And he said, Mayavadis generally want freedom from accepting a material body because they fear having to give it up again. But the devotees whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental loving service. So, unafraid, this situation comes when we are in the womb of our mother in this life, a human form of life. How? Because if we read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, chapter 31, the moments of the living entities. And who is explaining? Lord Kapila is explaining to Mother Devahuti. What he is explaining? He is explaining the moments of the living entities within the womb. So then this verse 20, the translation, what he says, therefore, my Lord, although I am living in a terrible condition, I do not wish to depart from my mother's abdomen, to fall again into the blind well of materialistic life. Your external energy, called Deva Maya, at once captures the newly born child and immediately false identification, which is the beginning of the cycle of continual birth and death, begins. So here also we can see that the child is praying in the womb to Lord that please don't bring me out. I don't want to come out. Why? Because right now I am remembering you, but the moment I will come out from this place, what will happen? The Maya, your Maya, Deva Maya, he says, or Maya, Mahamaya, or materialistic energy, or illusory energy, whatever we call it, it will capture me and I will forget about you. And then what will happen? The cycle of birth and death will continue. And it's interesting here, Srila Prabhupada has translated the word Yasya Yoga Na Vanchanti. So in the translation he says Mayavadis. I mean, from where this word has come? Because we don't see the direct reference here in like Mayavadis. So Mayavadis, Vad means the one who is propagating the philosophy. And what is that Maya? Maya means nothing related to Krishna. Anything which is not related to Krishna. So what they are doing is basically they are not propagating Krishna, rather they are propagating other than Krishna. So in short, they are called Mayavadis. And when we are not connected with Krishna, what happens? Naturally we are afraid. Because we are not seeing our relationship with Krishna. We are not seeing our relationship with the creation of Krishna. Actually, oh, he is my Father, he is my Supreme Lord, and this is his creation. So why should I be afraid? Why should I be afraid? But because we have no connection with Krishna, what will happen? The materialistic or Mayavadis or the living entity who is conditioned in the material life will be very much afraid. Then it's interesting because here Maharaj Nimi is praying in the previous verse. He says, please do not give me another body. Please do not imprison me again in this material body. So how do we understand? One side we are saying Maharaj Nimi as a devotee of the Lord, and the other side he is also praying. So is he a Mayavadi? That he doesn't want to take this birth again? No, actually he is a devotee, but at the same time he is taking that position. That he doesn't want to, like, as if feel safe. Because sometimes we become like a very much easy going with our devotional life, like a sadhana practice. We feel like, okay, we have accomplished now the status. I'm chanting 16 rounds, following for regulatory principles, doing the service, and something happens and we are gone. Right? So to avoid that, Maharaj Nimi is presenting his situation. Yes, one side your devotees are not afraid of taking the material body. At the same time, the Mayavadis are afraid of taking material body, but I'm in between. I still want to do much devotional service. I still want to achieve that love, that affection, that service attitude for you. And I haven't reached there. So please, don't give me material body. And then here he says about another example we can see is from Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami also, he did not want to come out from the mother's womb. He said, no, I'm not coming out. Because he was hearing Śrīmad Bhāgavatam from Srila Vyasadeva. When your parents are devotees, that's very nice position, because then you will hear Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Krishna Katha, even in mother's womb. So Sukadeva Goswami said, no, I'm not coming out. Srila Vyasadeva, he had to give many assurances that don't worry, I will take care of you, Krishna will take care of you. And then he finally, actually it was troublesome for mother as well, caring for, it is said 16 years. So then finally he agreed, okay. And similarly, Srila Prabhupada also, he prayed. If you read Markine Bhagavad Dharma, when he went to USA, then he prayed that, oh my Lord, why you have brought me here in this terrible place? Like this is like, he is coming from Vrindavan atmosphere, and maybe many of you have been to Vrindavan. If not, I wish you go soon. You go there, it's very nice, devotional. Of course, now little by little is changing. But before, if you consider 1960s, 70s, the atmosphere, as I think Prabhu a few days back gave a class, he was describing Yamuna water. He said, like you can literally drink the water. You can see the bottom of the Yamuna water. And now you see, anyway, not to describe. So, that was the atmosphere, very devotional life. And then Srila Prabhupada, he went from that place, it's like a pure spiritual place, and he went from that place to USA. And he saw what's going on. Straight away he understood, oh, why you have brought me here in this most terrible place. But then again, his another sentiment, his another feeling came and overtook. He said, oh yes, my Lord, maybe you have some business. You have some business for me. That is why you have brought me here. So now he displayed the another side, that surrendering. So okay, you have brought me here, maybe you have some business. Now you do as you wish. Make me puppet. I am your puppet. Now make me dance as you wish. So this is like that. Devotees, because he was concerned about rendering service to his spiritual master. He was concerned about rendering service to Lord Chaitanya. He was concerned about rendering service to Lord, Supreme Person, Krishna. So he became unafraid. Okay, maybe some business, I will do that business. I will fulfill that. And similar feeling is displayed by Bhaktivedanta Thakur. Here he says, what he says, my Lord, if you want me to take birth and accept a material body again, my only prayer is that you give me the birth in the home of a devotee, your servant. I don't mind being born in insignificant creature like an insect. So we see so many living entities here in the temple courtyard. Fishes are there, all these flowers, and then the other trees and plants are there. And sometimes the birds also come, they take prasadam. So we don't know how fortunate they are. So the same way here Bhaktivedanta Thakur is praying that I don't mind being born as insignificant creature in the home of a devotee. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam ajagdesha kame, mama janmani sware, bhavta bhakti ahitukitai. I don't mind taking birth after birth, as long as I am engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. In what way? Pure devotional service. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. So these verses are showing, and what Maharaj Nimi's prayer is showing, the importance of developing that consciousness. What kind of consciousness we want to develop that will bring us next body. If we want to develop that consciousness on relying on Krishna, having faith in Krishna, practicing devotional service, what will happen? We will not be afraid of taking birth again in this material world. Because we know that, okay, I am doing this and I want to continue doing this even after life. We will not be afraid. But if we are not developing that consciousness, fully relying on Krishna, practicing this devotional service nicely, attentively, then what will happen? We will be afraid. As time comes near the death, then we feel like, oh, what did I do? I didn't take the advantage of the time and the energy and the human form I was given. And then what will happen? You will regret at the time. So this verse is showing the importance of two sides. One side is if not taking protection of Krishna, and the other side is taking protection of Krishna. It is our choice. It is our choice. And here, this is very nice. Prabhupada writes, if one has a strong desire to serve the Lord, even if he accepts a material body, there is no cause of anxiety, since a devotee, even in a material body, is liberated soul. Sometimes people misunderstand liberation. Moksha. Moksha is another word. Liberation means moksha. Moksha means free from this anxiety. It's not that moksha means we have to go to the Brahma Jyoti. No. Here it is given the definition of moksha or liberation. If one, the real moksha is in the service of Krishna, when we are engaged in the service of Krishna. And Prabhupada writes nicely, if one has a strong desire to serve the Lord, and that's the strong desire we have to develop. And this is how our Guru Parampara is showing that how to develop the strong desire. That we continue reading the scriptures, we follow our spiritual life, and then we will have a strong desire. And then there will be no anxiety. And this is confirmed by Srila Rupa Goswami. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, in the other words, in service of Krishna with his mind, body, intelligence and words, is a liberated person even within this material world, although he may be engaged in so many so-called material activities. It's very nice. Similar prayer is given when we read our, Aparadha Sodhani prayers. Where is that? I have to find. Aparadha Sodhani prayers. Here. Sthiti seva gatiryatra smruti chinta sutirvacha bhuyat sarvatmana vishnu madhyam taiche sthitam. What is the prayer? Oh my Lord, let my normal condition be service. Let my moments be holy pilgrimage. Let my thought be remembrance of you. Let my words be glorification of you. O Vishnu, let my activities with my whole body, mind and soul be engaged in you. So this is the only prayer we should be praying all the time. That whatever I am doing, whether I am sitting, whether I am walking, whether I am going somewhere, whether I am thinking, everything let it be in you. And then what will happen? Then here it says, what will happen? He is a liberated person even in the material world. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. From external perspective, it may appear like as if, suppose we are going to work or we are doing some restaurant business. Devotees, we are running, temple is running so many restaurants. Not many, but 4. I wish we have many more. We are doing, external perspective is like a restaurant. But the consciousness is different. Individually and collectively, consciousness is different. So if that consciousness, with that consciousness, Krishna consciousness we are working, then we are liberated. That means we will not have an effect of 3 gunas. That is Rajagun, Tamagun and Sattvagun. And because we will not have an effect of gunas, what will happen? We will not take the birth again. That's what Krishna says in the 4.9. What is that? Janma karma cha medyam yome taktva puna janma nai eti mam. Yeah, tvaktva deham puna janma naiti mam iti. That's what he says. When he gives up his body, he goes directly to become an associate of the Lord and serve him. Although he does the same thing even in the material body, in the material world. And with that, here is a reference in Prabhupada gives a sentence. He says, Sadhur jivova marova. So Prabhupada has nicely explained this. Actually, there are 4 related items here. So, where is that? Here. So Prabhupada gave this story on his Prabhupada. That is his spiritual master's disappearance day. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's disappearance day lecture, Los Angeles, December 9, 1968. So he described that there was a sadhu, saintly devotee, and he was going around, he goes to different places for the book distribution or many other things. Janmashtami is coming, so bhoga collection, etc. So he goes. So then he is meeting so many different people. So he met first king's son. So to king's son, he said, you live forever. You live forever. He said. Then he went ahead and then he met a Muni's putra, that is Brahmachari, Muni's son. To him, he said, you don't live. Then he met a devotee, a sadhu. Then he said this sentence, Jivova Marova. Either you live or die as you like. And then he met hunter or Prabhupada. Sometimes they are described as a butcher because we can see here in the... Now we don't see the hunters, we see the butchers, right? So a butcher, to him he blessed, you don't die, you don't live. Why? So for king's son, he is enjoying the pleasure. He is having so many nice pleasure. So what will happen? Because he is enjoying, and if he is not Krishna conscious, then what will happen? He has to pay back. So to him, he said, you live forever. So that enjoyment goes on, otherwise the hellish life will come to you. Then Muni's putra, Brahmachari, he said, you don't leave. Why? Prabhupada explained that brahmachari, he puts on so much great austerity. He does so much service. So then because of this austerity, you are like rightful inherited that you go back home, back to Godhead. So you don't leave, you go home. And then sadhu, a devotee who is already there, he said, you don't leave, you don't die, as you wish. Why? Because just like here is explained, he is always engaged in Krishna consciousness. Whether he in the material world here, in the service of the Lord, or in the spiritual world, in a spiritual body, is the same. Is the same for a devotee with right Krishna consciousness. And then for butcher, he said, you don't die, you don't leave, because his current situation is hellish. And why this current situation is hellish? Because his past situation was also hellish. He wanted that situation. He did that karma in the past lives. That's why he is put into this situation. Now he is doing that activities, that means his future situation will be also hellish. So he said, don't die, don't leave. So for us, at least as a devotee, we have this assurance. If we practice nicely, then at least we will get the human. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6. Right? My devotees never perishes. They will take birth. It depends if they are practicing long or they are practicing short. They will be fixed in devotional service. They will get the proper place so that they can continue their service. Right? Here is again last paragraph. For a devotee there is no pain, pleasure and material perfection. One may argue that at the time of death a devotee also suffers because of giving up his material body. But in this connection we have the example of a cat carrying a mouse in mouth and also carries a kitten in the mouth. Both the mouse and the kitten are carried in the same mouth, but the perception of mouse is different from that of the kitten. So I remember I asked this question to His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj many years back. I was very new. And when we start hearing about the spiritual life, then we are told, we are not this body. You are a spiritual being. But then in the beginning you may still have that, some inclination to that body. Of course, you have that inclination even at the time of death, but the strong is very strong, With knowledge it becomes reduced little by little. So then the question came, hang on, devotees are dying, I am non-devotees are also dying. Then, maybe the non-devotees are feeling afraid and devotees are also, maybe they are afraid. So how to understand this? Then Maharaj, he gave this example. That a cat carries kitten and mouse in the same mouth. She is carrying. But the kitten, he is feeling very safe in the mouth of his mother. Very safe. No problem. Because he is sure that she is just carrying me from one place to another place. Maybe from this filthy place to better place. Like that. But the mouse, he knows that, now this kitten is carrying, I'm gone. I am gone. I'm dead. He knows. That affectionate, even though we are carrying, the affectionate hand is like very gentle. You feel like comfort. But then if someone is putting their hands on your neck with that intense anger, ready to kill you, feel like, he is not loving me. He is going to kill me, right? So Krishna does that. Krishna does that in the form of death. He says in the 11th chapter, Kaloshmi, I am the time, I destroy everything. Everything. In the form of time, I destroy everything. I takes away. And to Arjuna also, he showed, Arjuna, what you are speaking, they are already dead. By my arrangement, they are already dead. But at the same time, for devotees, he comes and he puts his loving hand, just like Prahlad Maharaj. Narasimha Bhagwan, luckily we are going tonight, the movie, Narasimha Avatar. Looking forward. So Lord Narasimha, he came and he was like so much anger, like how dare you can do this to my devotee, you know. So much anger, like there is no such incarnation who has displayed this much anger, Lord Narasimha, like Lord Narasimha. So much anger. And then he came out from the pillar, and then Hiranyakashipu, where is he? And then he brought him, and then he puts on left, and then he just start doing the surgery, you know, open heart surgery. And then he kills him. So much anger. But the next moment, he changes to the loving father. He puts his hand, loving hand. Oh, Prahlad, please come forward. And he also puts Prahlad on his lap. He had put Hiranyakashipu on his lap, and now he is putting Prahlad on his lap. He using the same hand, the same fingernails. It's not that fingernails disappeared. No, the same fingernails. On the top, he has blood on his face and the body. You know, the whole ghastly scene is still going on. It's around. And then he starts licking Prahlad. So this is what Krishna does. If we are taking shelter of Krishna, then what he does? He comes and he pacifies us. He gives us comfort, and then he makes us unafraid. Our Srila Prabhupada, his name is Abhaya Charanaravinda. So if we are taking shelter of Guru Parampara through Prabhupada, then we will be unafraid of taking birth again. Rather continue doing devotional service, birth after birth. Then when a devotee gives up his body, tvaktva deham, he is ready to go back home, back to Godhead. Thus his perception is certainly different from that of a person being taken away by Yamraj for punishment. In this regard, there is a nice video. I'm not sure whether you have come across. Recently I came across one brahmachari explaining about his real life story in that video. He was explaining how he was, in the sense, non-believer. We use the word non-believer. He was not atheist, but he just didn't put efforts to understand about God. At the same time, he was working very hard, electrician. He was working very hard. One time he was on a leave, like 2 weeks leave, off time. And then all of a sudden, his employer calls. He says, we have a nice big project. I will pay you double. Can you please do it? He said, okay, no problem. So then he went to Surat in Gujarat somewhere. And then the project was laying down the electric cables. You know, for that they have to prepare. So then he started his job. He said, no, that's fine. I don't mind if I'm getting a double pay, naturally, you know. And he was not following anything like spiritual life. So then he started, and during that job, he had to pick up some big, the cables or the pipes. So then he picked up, and somehow the crane was operating, and maybe operators saw some kids. So then he wanted to save those kids. So somehow he lifted the crane in such a way that somehow he touched the electric wire, and that is 21,000 kV, kilowatt. 21, like you're talking about heavy duty electric current, you know. And then somehow he was connected with these cables, the one he was carrying, and he got the shock. He felt like he was lifted in the air, and it's like his whole body is shaking like anything. Within a second, he kind of lost his consciousness. He fell down. He says he doesn't remember what happened in that quick seconds. Somehow he was saved. This whole arm he was displaying this way. So maybe this side was like burned, like very paralyzed like that. Somehow he was saved. For a brief second he came in the consciousness and then he went to coma. So then he went to the hospital, they took him to hospital, private and government hospital, etc. They did the treatment. During that hospital stay, he came in the consciousness. But before that, he saw something. What he saw? Is he saw two people, black-bodied, red eyes, big red eyes and like demoniac, like a kind of look. They came to him and then they were staring at him. He says, "Who are you?" Hindi में बोला, "आप लोग कौन हैं? Who are you?" I said, "Oh, you don't know us?" He said, "No, I don't know you." "Oh, we are here to take you." "Take you where?" "You have to go to hell." "Why?" "Oh, you have done so much mischiefs, you have done so much sinful activities." "What did I do?" And then they said that they put a picture like on the wall, the video, and then he's seeing his, like just like we hear, the Ajamil pastime. Ajamil also went through. Similarly, like they put the picture, just like in cinema, the video clip is going on. They put, and then there they showed him that when you were young as a child, that you carried two snakes because there was some competition. You put the snake, one of the snakes, you put in the stove, chula. In India, it's like a organic style stove is there. Gobar, cow dung. You prepare the stove, you put the woods, and then you burn with some oil, or sometimes kerosene, etc. Anyway, so then you put the one snake there, and that snake got burned. So this shock, what you got, is because of that. It's like, wow. And then they went back. After a few days, they came back again. They said, "Now what? You are here again?" "Yes, we are here to take you." They said, "Really?" "Yes." "Now what did I do?" "Well, you remember? You went to your friend's place?" And then he recalled, "Oh yes, I went to Mumbai or Pune. There was a party, my friend's place. And he was a chef, he was cook. So then friends asked him for, biryani, etc. So then that time he prepared something related to chicken, whatever maybe. He recalled that time I took 5 chickens and put in the boil water, live. And I took out the skin. Yeah. So then they said, "Yes, now the doctors will come." They are foretelling this, They are displaying the picture and then they are telling him that this will happen in few hours or next day. And then they are telling now the doctors will come and the same thing they will do it to you. Because the skin is burned, this hands is burned, they will take out the skin. And that's what they did. And he was conscious, half conscious, Sometimes I did the LASIK surgery, you are half conscious. My mother did the knee replacement surgery, she was conscious. That's an interesting story, but that's different. You can literally see they are bringing the instrument and they are utilizing the instruments. Anyway, you pray to Krishna and everything goes away. The doctors came and they started peeling the skin, and then he was like screaming like anything, and others were afraid what's going on, And after that, they came again. This time something else was there. Finally on the head, they had to punch him on the head like that for some reason. Anyway, and finally, last time they came, 4th time. The 4th time they came, and then they were going through the paper, just like we have the paper, they had the paper as a notebook. And one of them started looking, and then started laughing. So, interesting. He doesn't need to go, he doesn't need to die now, he doesn't need to come to hell now. So what? Why? The other person is asking, why? He said, yes, because in his last life, he has served some Mahatmas. He has served some devotees of the Lord. And those devotees have blessed him to become a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Because he hasn't become a devotee of Lord Vishnu yet, we have to give him the chance. So then they told him, this is like a Yamdutas and Vishnu Dutas talking, And this time, for him, the Yamdutas are becoming kind of Vishnu Dutas. They're giving the guidance, Vatapada Dashaka Guru, like that. Now you become a devotee of Lord Vishnu. Now this is similar like that Mahatmas who came in the 4 months and then stayed at Narada Muni when he was a son of maidservant, he became a son of maidservant. So he served them. And they wished him that you become a devotee of Lord Krishna. And Narada Muni became the devotee of Lord Krishna. The same way here, they are praying that you become a devotee of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. Then he said, okay, I will become. Let me go. Actually, he was in such a situation before that when they came for the 3rd time. He was praying to them that please take me. Don't bring me, don't keep me alive. You just make me die, that's okay, don't worry. I'm ready to come wherever, because the pain was so much. And he said, okay, now you become devotee of Lord Vishnu. So then he became a devotee of Lord Vishnu. He started searching for the devotees of Lord Vishnu. And finally, he came across our ISKCON, Prabhupada's shelter. Now he became a brahmachari. He gave it up, everything. He became brahmachari. So now he is unafraid. The whole point of this story is, we have always 2 sides. Better we remain in Krishna's side. We remain Krishna conscious. No matter, and interestingly, I read yesterday, Prabhupada writes, I don't know whether I have written down here. Yes, I have written down. Yes. This is the power of association. Because this consciousness, how will we develop? We will develop this consciousness in the association of devotees. So what Prabhupada writes, he says, he has given in Chaitanya Chaitamrit Adi Lila, chapter 7, verse 91. 2nd March, verse 91 and 92, March 13, 1974, in Vrindavan. He says, our Krishna conscious society is a Bhakta Sangha, is a society of devotees. Never try to go away. Never try to go away. Discrepancies may be there. You should adjust. And this chanting and dancing amongst, within the society of devotees, has got great advantage, great value. So this consciousness, here, Mayavadi's consciousness, that's what Maharaj Nimi said. He said, Mayavadi generally want freedom from accepting a material body because they fear having to give it up again. But the devotees, whose intelligence is always filled with the service of the Lord, are unafraid. Indeed, they take advantage of the body to render transcendental loving service. So where do we get this advantage? In this society. In Prabhupada's society. Celebrating these festivals like a Jhulan Yatra, I was doing service Tuesday and the Aarti and other service, Sayan Seva. And then the Kirtan, Keshav Prabhu was singing the Kirtan, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavan. And all the devotees chanting and dancing. Even though you are not putting conscious efforts, because these vibrations are repeating, even if you go home, next day also, you can hear. You can hear, if you put efforts to hear. So this is the opportunity we will develop, that we will become unafraid because we are always engaged in the service of the Lord. So that's our choice. We continue. Either way, one side is full of bliss, the other side is full of hellish life. With that, we stop here. It's 8:30. Let me see if I have missed any point. I don't think so, but yeah, I think we have covered. Okay, Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Any question, comment, or any correction? No question? Okay, no problem. Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Oh, Hare Krishna. Thank you. How much is it? It's reduced? Last time it was 1850. Is it? Wow. No price increase? It should increase, Prabhu. Yeah. See, these are the devotees.